What starts as a routine small claims hearing quickly turns into a perfect example of how ignoring the court can make a bad situation even worse. We've got unpaid debts, missed court appearances, and a judge who's clearly not in the mood for excuses. One defendant is about to learn the hard way that skipping a court-ordered hearing doesn't just delay things, it can land you with a warrant. And here's the twist. This isn't even about refusing to pay. It's about refusing to show up. So the real question is, how far can a small claims case escalate when someone simply ignores the system? Let's break it down.
All right. We've got a couple of small claims discovery hearings, which may or may not turn into anything. But I did turn the live stream back on for what it's worth. Answer to that is left eye is doing great. Right eye on Wednesday. All right. Thank you for saying hello once again. We did have an interesting case while I had the live stream off, where two separate defendants were foreclosed on for the same piece of property by two separate plaintiffs, two separate defendants on the same house. And Meg Bauer may get involved to help sort that out, but it's not a good situation. All right, our plaintiff is here. Good afternoon, Ms. Letson.
Good afternoon. Sorry. Your stuff over? Yeah, you can get your stuff real quick. You're fine. In the office. Should have signed your paper.
Ms. Letson, I'm looking at the Jason Davis case. They did get service on him. He's set for discovery here in a couple of minutes and 1 minute. 24698 SC. I see there were additional costs, 3312 and 347 for the service efforts. Do you have any costs above and beyond that?
Well, we have one that Bruce went and did and the total for that one was the $86.39. The one that he had to go and send it through the mail.
Is that on Mr. Davis?
Yes.
All right, $86.39. Well, he was personally served this last time.
Because I have that one, and then there was the...
Right here, the court is carefully calculating additional service costs. And this might seem small, but it's actually a big deal in legal terms. Every attempt to serve documents, every mailing fee, every procedural step adds up. These costs are legally recoverable, meaning the defendant ends up paying not just the original debt, but also the cost of chasing them down. This is how a relatively modest judgment can slowly snowball into something much bigger. And the more someone avoids the process, the more expensive it becomes. So ask yourself, if you were in this situation, would you keep avoiding court or show up before the costs spiral even further?
Right. Let's add all that up. 3312 plus 347 plus 8639 is 122.98. Yes, 8639. All right, it is 3 o'clock. This is Grand True Value Rental versus Jason Davis. File number is 24639SC. The plaintiff sued the defendant back in 2024.
Yeah.
We had a hearing. I'm trying to remember what it was that he rented.
Scaffolding, I do believe that's the one that was
Scaffolding and crosswalk braces, step frame.
Yep.
Judgment entered. After a trial, the amount of $439.39, the defendant indicated he was going to pay, and he did not. So the plaintiff has made a number of efforts toward discovery in this matter. The defendant was personally served with a subpoena by Sergeant Morse on February 5th for today's hearing. We have additional costs of $122.98. The original judgment was $439.39. Now it's up to $593.52. I'm not sure where they got that number. $439.39 plus $122.98. Is $562.37. There may be some additional costs in there. The clerk put the total at 5.
Now this is the turning point. The defendant was properly served and knew about the hearing but still didn't show up. In legal terms, that's not just negligence, it's contempt of court. And contempt is serious because it challenges the authority of the court itself. The judge isn't punishing the person for owing money here, he's responding to the failure to obey a direct court order. This is where small claims cases can suddenly escalate into something much more severe. Missing court might feel like avoiding the problem, but in reality, it often makes things significantly worse.
He's not here, and he's late. Do a bench warrant. Bond, $600 cash only. This is tax refund season. Maybe he's going to get a refund. He didn't show up for the hearing, which is contempt. And he can be punished not for not paying the debt, but for contempt for not appearing under a court order to appear via the discovery. And you keep running up additional costs and attempting to collect on this.
The judge just issued a bench warrant with a $600 cash-only bond, and this is a major escalation. Let's be clear, this isn't about the unpaid debt itself. You don't go to jail just for owing money, but you can absolutely face consequences for ignoring a court order. That's the key distinction. Here, the court gave the defendant an opportunity to participate in the process, and by failing to appear, they've triggered enforcement. Now the defendant has two choices: post the bond and deal with the case, or risk being detained. Do you think this kind of enforcement is fair or too harsh for a small claims case?
So the bond is $600 cash only. You contact the clerk regarding the bench warrant. If you're diligent enough, eventually you'll get paid. I suspect he'll post a $600 bond rather than sit in jail while we wait to hold a discovery hearing, but we'll see. He obviously knew about today's hearing. Sergeant Morse personally served him with a notice of it. Now we have Grand True Value Rental versus Sean Bray. The judgment here is $1,224. I do not believe we have service.
No, we do not. Calhoun County sent back, I brought the paper of the email that they sent over saying that they were not able to serve him, being that they were told that that is not his address. So we're back to not having.
What county did you think? Oh, Burlington.
Burlington, they told me it was Calhoun County.
Yeah, it is.
Yep. So they told me that they were the reason they couldn't serve him is because the address was not correct, that he does not live there anymore. So I have to locate an address for him.
All right.
This second case shows the complete opposite problem, not avoidance, but inability to even locate the defendant. Without proper service, the court can't proceed, no matter how strong the claim might be. This highlights a fundamental legal principle. Everyone has the right to be notified before a judgment is made against them. That's why the judge is granting additional time to find a valid address. It might feel like a delay, but it's actually protecting due process. Compare that to the first case. One person ignored the system, and the other hasn't even been reached yet. Two very different situations, but both stuck in the same legal pipeline.
We do have a gentleman that works with us that says he might know of a way of getting an address for him.
I will continue this matter for 60 days to attempt to obtain service.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Did you guys get any tornado damage? You're kind of right in the line of fire there.
We did not. We seen the little swirlies across 131, though.
You're within just a couple hundred yards of where the tornado went.
Yes.
Are people renting stuff in droves because of the damage that occurred?
What, Your Honor?
Are they doing lots of rentals of ladders and scaffolding and that sort of stuff?
We've had people come in for the excavator and the lift quite a bit the last week and a half.
Yes, they've made amazing progress in cleaning that up, but literally you are just feet from where that tornado went.
Yes.
All right, well, I'm glad your property's intact and everybody's safe, but
We are too.
all right, we'll try again in this one.
All right. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, I'll see you next time. Thank you.
Yep. Have a good day.
I'll have a good day now that we have electricity. All right, that finishes half of my day. The morning half, they're rescheduling. I'm going to stop the live stream. Clock on the wall says it's 11:26. Just tell you how to whack everything is around here. It's about 3:10. Nobody has shown up. That gentleman's going to get a $600 bench warrant, and perhaps he can pay his bill.
This courtroom session perfectly shows how small claims cases can go in completely different directions depending on how people respond. In the first case, the defendant ignored the court, despite being properly notified, and that led to a bench warrant, additional costs, and escalating consequences. In the second case, the issue wasn't refusal, but simply the inability to locate the defendant, which paused the entire process. The key takeaway here is simple but powerful. The legal system gives opportunities, but if you ignore them, the consequences can escalate quickly. Showing up, responding, and engaging with the process can make all the difference. If you found this case as eye-opening as we did, make sure to hit that like button, share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more jaw-dropping courtroom breakdowns.